right, so let's just go ahead and get started, shall we? Welcome everybody. It's good to see everybody. Many card owners here. Some not so much, but that's okay. We're just going to talk about following up in a particularly specific way. But we're also going to have some interaction through the chat. I think if I open up the people, if I have people yapping at me while I'm trying to do stuff, that gets a little bit crazy. So the chat goes right to me. So when I ask you to, we can interact that way. Let's see, and I'm still admitting people. There we go. Anyway, so let me go ahead and share my screen to go ahead and get started. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see that. So my name is Gabe O'Neill, and yes, I'm known as the Godfather of the digital business card. So if you pull out your phone and you text the word Gabe to the number 321-421-5213, my card will land safely on your phone. And I'm actually going to have some people do that voluntarily as an exercise later, so that I can show you exactly how we follow up. We can get it demonstrated. So if you want to see it live, it's best to do that. And full transparency, you will be opting into a text campaign, but the easiest thing to do if you want to get out of it is just type the word stop. I don't even know if you're doing, when people stop, it automatically cancels everything, and I don't even know anything. So if for the purpose of the demonstration, you want to do it, is fine. And if you don't want to continue to get text, that's all good. That's how we do things here. So yeah, recently have, again, we have the digital business cards that we started in 2018 have come a long way, thanks to a lot of the people who are in this room who own one, who have given me ideas to further what we're doing. And so more recently than not, we've added a feature, a text marketing feature that we're going to demonstrate in a little bit for you. So I just gotta keep an eye on making sure I'm not losing anybody in the waiting room. So without further ado, why don't you write in the chat if you do follow up, please write in the chat how you do it, and then I'll read out a few of them if I can figure out how to get the chat while I'm screen sharing. Oh, there we go. There we go. So, okay. So, okay, these are good. Yes, keep them coming, because I know Donna is going to have some good answers for me, because she does send out cards, and I know Diva is very good at this too. So, let's see where we have Contact Hero and Pipe Drive. That's what John Waller uses. Haven't heard of either of them, but if you have a note pad and you want to write these down, by all means, write them down. Email, phone, text, video is Brian's answer. Call, text, card, email from Andrea. Phone calls or email. I just send a text thanking them. Thanks to Dominic. And there we go. There's Donna, send out cards. She sends cards to people. Let's see, Coach Chris, I take them offline. You don't say what you do with them once you take them offline, but I'll assume that it's nothing untoward. Email and mailbox power. CRM is essential for follow-up and phone calls. And Larry I just started and haven't done any follow-ups yet. So, all right. So those are good answers. I mean, there's really not necessarily any bad answers. But I think the most important thing really is that we're following up, because sadly, a number of my card owners, one of them even said to me, we have what I'm going to show you had follow up even before we added the text marketing. And one of my one of my clients said, I'm not technical. I don't use that. I'm not going to do that, which means she's not going to make any effort at all to follow up with people. Well, when you're not following up, you're basically burning money, right? And so, that's just really not good. So, is this you? Is this you with how many people have a pile of business cards on their table? This actually used to be me. It did. That's how I did it. I would go to these in-person networking events, bring home these business cards, put them in a box, put them in a pile. I ended up putting them in a pile so I could take a similar picture, and it looked a lot like that. And basically this is just trash, right? This anybody anymore, um, they don't even want your business card because they think, oh, is it sterilized? Did you let me spray that before you give it to me? But nobody really wants it. So yeah, I think we all can agree that business cards are pretty much not the way to go in this day and age. And it led me to this graphic, which I really, really love. Is just like, if you're going to give somebody a business card, you're basically saying, hey, will you throw this away for me? Sure, I'd be happy to. So kind of a fun thing that we do. And then there's the email. A lot of people have email drip campaigns. I have them as well. But really in my experience, at least, that's exactly what it is. It's a drip, and it doesn't have a ton of immediate results. Some people are better at this than others. I'll call out my colleague Chris Michelle, who does a lot of analytics when he does this. So it really takes a lot of work to get good at this. But for me, honestly, I have it. Many of you are on my list, and you get my emails. I usually send out emails about my events like this one, and but it's keeping me in top of your mind, kind of, sort of. But honestly, I personally don't get a ton of sales from my drip campaign. Where are we going here? So let's look at some stats that I found on the internet. And I wrote it that way basically because if you Google SMS marketing statistics, you're going to get 1,000 different results, and they all basically differ. I'm not going to even read these off, but basically the idea is that SMS marketing right now, at least in the U.S., is a highly effective way of marketing people versus email or any of the other ones. And this says 55% of people use native messenger. Well, who cares about that? 91% of consumers would opt in for text messages for brands. That might be an arguable number. I'm not sure if many of that people would opt in, and 34% of people read their messages within 5 minutes. I would say that's a low number. But again, you can read you can read a lot of different stats on this, but you'll definitely find that on average, the people are going to open a text a lot more often and a lot quicker than they're going to open an email. A lot of times that people don't even see their emails because they just lost hope, and they've got 1,000 unread emails. They'll never get to them. So that's pretty much the rub, is that this is really where, and the experience that I've had with our digital card is I get more business from my digital card than I get from anything else that I do. I mean, networking is to get people to get my digital card. So in tandem with that, and it's because of the fact that we capture their cell phone number. So here's some options that I got from the internet. These are some text messaging marketing services that are the best ones according to whatever website I got this from. And I think I have tried 3 of them just to kind of see how they work. Textedly was one. Like if I were to pick one, I probably would pick Textedly. It was just they seem to be friendly people and all that. If that's all you're looking for, you just want a texting thing where people opt in. But so there's Textedly, there's easy texting, simple texting. I mean, you can make the same Google that I did. There's just the, text marketing services that are out there. The only problem is, hold on, I've got another person coming in. The only problem with this is you're basically on your own. When you do this, I mean, right now there's a lot of compliance issues. There's a lot of issues on how to actually do things. And all you're doing this for is just to strictly, there's only one reason why you'd use this, and that's to bring them in to your text marketing campaign. So here we go. So again, the compliance issue is really very, very strong, and it has, I mean, and it has been growing much more significant as of late. You may know that, for example, shared short codes are definitely going away. And that is because, a shared short code is what actually we were using. It was 21,000, where you could text Gabe to 21,000, and you would get my card. That was great, but the problem is, if somebody sends a bad message, anybody who uses that service sends a bad message, it shuts the whole thing down. And that happened a couple of times, sometimes for days. And so it's become that, because it's so inexpensive for people to use it, a lot of spammers jumped on it. And then it got a reputation of being, well, that's just all spam. So some of the, like Ring Central, for example, won't even deal with short codes. They've banned them. So, and the government has said, you guys have to handle this. So the carriers are getting really strict about, how you can text and who you can text and when you can do it, and all of that good stuff. So, I mean, you got to do it during working hours. There's a lot of things, but the good news is that I care a lot about this. And what I mean is, if I have a business that uses text messaging and I don't pay attention to this stuff, I'm likely to get shut down as a business, or at least to lose my texting arm. And that's not something I'm interested in doing. So so what I do is I train every person who gets the SMS marketing on the right things to do and the wrong things to do, and make sure that they're aware of all the rules and regulations. And I use some of our software to also make sure that they're not doing things that they shouldn't be doing. So so the main things is that you need to have express written consent from people. That's where, if you text Gabe to 321-421-5213, the first message will be that, hey, you're opting in, and to get out, you hit stop and all that. So that's very common. And you have to tell them who you are. Every time you send out a message, you have to either mention your name or your company. But the good news is that we handle a lot of that stuff for you. You shouldn't have to worry about a lot of that stuff after we've trained you in all the stuff that you have to do. Here we go. So again, the difference between other texting services and what we do, I mean, when you opt into their service, that's to it like a Textedly, that's all you're doing is just opting into that. Our digital card is multiple layers. And like for example, if you get my card, you'll see, if you haven't seen it already, that it's got it's a marketing tool, for one. It makes me memorable, for two. It elevates my digital profile. It's got all my contact information. Just by getting it, you've opted into my my marketing campaign. So there's a lot more value in what we provide than just the text marketing back end of it. And another thing that is pretty much one of the most things I'm most proud of is the fact that we, from the beginning, we wanted to bring the digital card community together as a community and have them interact with each other. And we just had, just an hour ago, we just finished our Thursday Power Hour, And Coach Chris talked about his book and how to how to take a leap of faith. I mean, it was very inspiring. I mean, it almost came to the point where we all might write a book together. I don't know. That's just kind of one of the ideas that came out of it. But it was so, I mean, you just can't get that and with any other company. And that's the thing I'm most proud of. And many of the people are in this room. You'll see if they have their their keyword onto the 321 number. Those are the ones that have our cards. And I just think it's absolutely humbling how everybody gets together and really tries to pitch in and help somebody when they need something, or just give each other ideas. And usually when you have a speaker, and we do a lot of events where our card owners can speak, but they're not necessarily the smartest one in the room. There's a lot of smart people in the room, right? And so what we do is they speak for 10 minutes and then lead the discussion, and then other people chime in with their viewpoints and their experience, and now you're getting the benefit of everybody's experience. And that is really what is magical and phenomenal. So, and that's just a part of being a digital card owner. So let me uh, actually let's go ahead, and I'm just going to start showing some live stuff here while we're doing this. Make sure there's nobody there's still nobody in the waiting room. So I'm going to go to, where is my here we go. So I'm going to share start from the beginning. So when you text the Gabe to 321-421-5213, this is what you get. And what happens is, when you first open it, it's going to show you these, what we call animated sequences. You're not going to see this anywhere else on anything, on any card at all. So this is an option that that whatever custom sentences you put out here or phrases, that they're going to read it just because of the way they're coming up. They're almost waiting to see, okay, what's coming up next. And this will go on for like the first 30 seconds or so. And then when it's done, it just morphs right into your card, just like that. There are all of these are hot links to my communication channels. I think Brian just clicked the text me button on because he couldn't get the link right before this meeting. And you can download my contact information right to your phone. Of course, if you have a calendar, it's imperative that you put it on there if you use it, because this is how it makes it just so easy for people to get in touch with you. I mean, I liken the sales cycle to a bicycle chain. And if you remember, if your bicycle chain broke when you're a kid, you're walking home, right? But if you can remove some of the links, like have somebody else tell people to text Gabe to 321-421-5213, and have that person see my card and say, this is cool. I want to get on his schedule. They're in my sales funnel. I've never even met them yet. That has really eliminated a lot of the parts from my sales process. And that's really, there's nothing more powerful than that. Let's see here. So going to the next one I wanted to show you, these are all my clients, and this is the community that you have access to. This is showing you that they're all done custom, and they're all different when they're supposed to be, and when they're the same company, they're kind of similar. So, and when we create something, like right now, when I say custom, I mean custom. I send all the information right to, to our graphic artist, and I say, do your magic on this, and she does. And there's one of them here just for fun that I'm going to show you. That this is Larry. Larry's in the audience here, and Larry he heads up a group of barbershop harmony chorus. There's like 40 people in it, and you'll see that I didn't even notice this at first, but what our graphic artist did was she made this into a barber pole, kind of with the stripes going up the sideways kind of thing, which I just thought was fantastic. So it's it's just a way to make it personal, make this your own kind of thing. And we try and do that with every card we get. But
Hey, Gabe,
yes.
excuse me. What's interesting is I interviewed one of those guys on Mountain View cable TV like 2 years ago, live on a TV show. And it's funny that popped up just now. I recognized that. Yeah.
Well, you'll have to get together with Larry later. But anyway, so no, I didn't want to go there. Let's go right to, so here. Okay. So let's see, raise your hand if you have, or put in the chat if you have, since the meeting started, put in the chat if you've texted the word Gabe to 321-421-5213 since the meeting started. And if you can do that, yes. Because, okay, so we've got a couple, and if you would, again, you can opt out if you want. It's just for clarify, if you want to see how the actual follow-up works. Yeah, you can do that. And somebody did have a question. Yes, it can work with your calendar. Works with any calendar. So, all right. So hopefully we've got it. We've got a few. So let's just see what we've got here. So I'm going to close the chat for now. And so what I'm doing, this is the back end because when people text our keyword, whether it be any of us, you see Diva, you see Larry, you see Coach Chris, you see John with on hold, and Ink with Raphael. I mean, when people text our keyword, we all capture that cell phone number, and this is where we get that information and we can do something with it. So if I hit go, so you'll see that that these folks have all just done it recently, just now, right? Right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to in a second I'll show you, but really what's happening here is I just asked the system who has texted my keyword in the last 30 days. And this is the results I got. So these are all cell phone numbers with their names, right? So you have that. And for those of you who said use a CRM, that's great. If you use a CRM, you can export this right to a CSV file or an Excel spreadsheet and bring it right into your CRM. But if not, you can also follow up here, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check Larry, Carol, Andrea, Raphael, and this person who's on the do not call list. And for fun, I'm going to do Brian Moore. I'm going to do Brian Grossman. So these are the folks that just did it like in the last 5 minutes. And so I can check them. I can also write notes and reminders about them. I can put them in a folder. So there's a lot of things that you can do with them, but I want to send them a text message. So I still have them checked down here. Now what it did was it brought up my send message panel, and I have a number of different message templates that I've written that were like, this is where I sent for people for this event. So some of you might have gotten this text from me a few days ago. If I want to do my 10 different ways, this is my 10 different ways message. So the idea is that it's gut easy, right? It's really, really simple. And you can change up your message depending on whatever you want. You can put as many of those templates in there, but once they're in there, all you do is pick it, and I can either schedule it if I want to say, well, let's do this tomorrow, or let's do this later today. Whatever we want to do, we can schedule it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to go ahead and send them. I'm going to send these out right now. And for the folks that have done, for these folks here, you should all have, let's see if it got out there. Yeah, it's been sent out. So you all should have received that text. So it's that easy, really. And the other thing you can do is, it's important, like when you get this feature, we determine how many messages you can send people per month. So for example, and you tell them that right in the first opt in. Like if you notice when you opt into my texting, it says you can, I'm going to send you 4 messages a month. That's it. So I'm not going to pepper you with messages all the time. And so the idea there is, how many messages do you think people will tolerate? Maybe 4 is too many. Maybe if you say 30, there's no way they're going to do it. Right. So, but the thing is, once you pick that number, you've got to stick to it, and I'll make you stick to it, because if there's an error here, where is this? This was like, I must, okay. So, oh yeah, I've already sent myself too many messages, so it wouldn't let me do it to me. And that kind of makes sense, because I use myself to test it. But and here's the completed one. So this is what I just sent. It completed. This is how many credits it took. This completed. It worked. And people, if you respond to me, I will see it here. Dominic just responded and said, yes. Okay. So Dominic responded to me and said, it says 833-620-1961 and not the 321-421-5213 number. That's true. Everybody gets their own 800 number. So even though they're texting 2321, everybody's still going to have like Gabe or Capital or Sing or Diva or whatever, or Coach Chris to 321-421-5213. The number that you're texting from is going to be your own. That way, if people stop, if people want to opt out to it, they're opting out from you, not from everybody, if that makes sense. I can also write back and say, if I spelled that wrong, I totally butchered that, but I can respond back to this, and you can actually have a conversation back to this person here, as many times as you want, without affecting that monthly limit, because here it's okay to, they want to talk to you, so you can go ahead and talk to them. So anyway, so yeah, and so it's really that simple. I'm not sure if anything, there's much more to it than that, but that's kind of, and what I do is when people text my keyword, I wait about a day. I don't bug them. I wait about a day, and I'll send out one. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, or like 5:30, whatever time it is, and it's not appropriate to send text messages. I'll say, well, let me get this out of the way. I'll just line them up, have it ready to go at 1 in the afternoon. Make sure that it takes care of the California people. It's scheduled. It's done. I mean, that's what's so gut easy about it. And I did that this morning, and the second that the text went out, somebody got on my calendar from it. So that's all I can say on it. So I'm going to put some links in the chat. Let's see, where did I put them?
Hey, Gabe.
Yeah.
So basically the back end of this is a CRM, right?
Well, I'm not sure if I would have the guts to call it a CRM for those who really know what a CRM is, because I've never used a real one. But so what I would say is it kind of sort of tries to emulate some of the things that CRMs do. But CRMs do so much that I probably would only use a small part of it anyway. But what this is, and I'd love to have a discussion with somebody who's an expert on it to see what the differences are. But what this does is just makes it really simple way to follow up with people, period.
Is there a way that I can put history notes and stuff in here? Because I presented this like 3 weeks ago, CRM. So I've been using one. I've got 18,000 in Contact Hero that I put in there in the last 14 years myself.
Right.
So I would say this is pretty close.
Okay. So what you're saying, can you bring it into here?
Well, can I have different histories? Let's see if I was reaching out to you several times over the last year.
Yeah, because all of those messages are kept, right?
Okay.
So,
right.
So yeah. So I'm going to do this. I think I put all the appropriate links that I have here. So yeah, so I'm I would love it if you guys to refer me out or to refer any of us out. All you have to do is remember our keyword and the number 321-421-5213. I'm trying to say it like Coach Chris does. But and if you say that 3 times, it will stick in your mind for sure. So yeah, if you so to refer me out, if you want to say, hey, I saw this really cool digital business card, just text the word Gabe to 321-421-5213. You don't have to remember my cell phone number. You don't have to remember my what was the guy's name? O'Shaughnessy, O'Brien. I don't remember, something like that. But that's all. Yeah, that's how we refer each other out. You have our website is there. Those the client cards that I showed you, they're there, and you can see many of the people that are here that have them. The store is there where you get to see the different pricing structures and the packages that we have. And the upcoming events. We have another event coming up next week, which we're going to be bringing in the founder of Con in VR, and Roberto DaCosta from New York City. He's got this program where he's starting to try and get virtual reality to bring in normal business events like networking and trade shows. And so that's going to be really, really cool. I've got a ton of people registered for that. And then if you want to learn more about it, or if you want to, if you don't have this feature and you want to upgrade, just get on my calendar. My calendar is the last thing I have there. So let's open it up for questions if you guys have them.
Gabe, I have a quick question. When you sent out those text messages, I thought I saw something about points. And one of them was like 12 points. I don't understand the points.
Okay, the credits. All right.
So whatever that was.
That's a good question. So how that works is a text is comprised of 160 characters. That's what the carriers have determined that's one text, right? And so we pay for one text and when through our services with that. But what if you want to send more? Because a lot of people do that. And if you've noticed, you've probably written old Wikipedia in there and it goes out fine, right? But what it does is it puts them together, but it charges you another credit, right? Once you go over 160. So we have we have up to 3 levels. You can in our system, you can write up to 455 characters. And if you haven't gotten your point across by then, you probably need to learn how to be more efficient. But so what that will show you how many credits that uses. So when you purchase when you upgrade to the back end, you get like a certain amount of messages per month or credits per month. So for example, I think the first one is like, I think it's 500 for like $15 or something like that. So you get 500 credits per month for $15. And if you have like 20 people that in your text is a long one, it's 3 credits long, then that particular text is going to be 60 credits. Does that make sense?
So even though you have unlimited texting on your phone, that has nothing to do with the texting within this program. Right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Yeah, Gabe, I got a question about the scheduling. See my calendar.
Okay.
I don't believe that I opted in for it when we created my card, but now I'm thinking maybe, you tell me, could I use something like that on my card for providing performance dates and information? Or is that?
Well, I mean, we can have We can have an online discussion about, or an offline discussion about
Okay.
that. But yeah, you can make minor changes to your card, and there's, if it doesn't really affect the design, then that's part of your maintenance.
Okay.
But having but I think what you're asking is two different things: is schedule and having your performance things. You don't have a button for that already to go to your future performances.
No.
That's something we should have put on there.
Hey, Gabe, couldn't you, Larry, you could probably put together a link tree and
Mhm.
have one of the buttons be a link tree, and your link tree would show, you'd have to update your link tree, but you could do your dates that way too.
Okay. So,
LANKTR.ee. And if you go there, you can sign up for it. You can have one basic place for them to go and check out all of your different locations as well.
okay.
So you could put in different dates on each one of the lines.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
So here I am again, but I'm thinking the placard that you made us,
Right.
the QR code that's on that is the 21,000.
Yes.
So there's no way to change that.
No. But I am replacing people's badges at
Okay.
request.
Okay,
So.
all right.
So a silly question, I guess. So I understand the purpose of 321421, but if people know me that I'm already in an area, this is just going to be dumb, but I mean, do they get over the hump that they're getting a text from me from a 321 number and they have my cell phone number as 818? Doesn't matter.
That's a good question. Let me see if any of the other card owners have any thoughts on that. I never really thought about it myself, but
Why are you texting them in a group?
Not a group, but in other words, my phone number is 818 area code.
Right.
So you see me on the web or you come to a speaking gig and you go, oh, I want Coach Brian's weight loss thing.
Right.
And they say, can I have your business card? And I say, here, just text 321. I mean, I suppose it's meaningless because I'm telling them where to text me, or I'll text them, but then they're going to say, well, who's the 321 number from? Does that make sense? I mean, if they have never met me before, it's not a big deal. But if
right.
they've known
So-
me from the past or called me on my phone, I'm just throwing it out there. So
Yeah. So one of the things that I've done is, if it's somebody that I know, and to your point, if it's hard for them to get over the 321421 thing, right? Because they know my number, like yours, it's not 321. One of the things I do is I do carry around my QR code, but I also have a link, and everybody has this link. It's the dabc.io / and then your code name, right? So mine, Coach Chris. And I know everybody's looking at me going, what's that? It's a direct link to your card is what it is.
and
It's
if
a
you showed up
direct-
to the power hours, you'd know about it.
Here we go. But it's what that is it basically is your web address for your business card. So you can give that to people. You can text that to them. And then when they click on that, it pulls up your card. Same
Mm.
effect. They just don't get a text message from another number other than yours.
And the other thing is, we go through in the orientation, in the training. I think we're doing one next Friday, where we have like 10 different ways how you share your card. So that's not the only way to get it out there. Chris did mention a few, but there's a lot of different ways that you can get it out there. And so that was the whole idea when we designed
Yeah.
it.
But Brian, just so you know, that's what I do in terms of, if I know somebody, right, and it's not someone I'm going to do business with, but they want to see my digital business card, I'll just send them that information because it's a lot easier. And they go, oh, that's really cool. And then I say, text Gabe.
You
There you
too.
go.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
All right,
Bye.
guys. Well, thanks for coming. And we will see you at future events.
Thank you, guys.